living in the homes of the Shudras. How to understand this? According to the scriptures, they should not be, danda should not be given up, and decorating with sandalwood paste, flower garlands. How to understand? I want to know this truth. I want to know the mystery. So this is how inquiry is done. The doubt is not on the speaker or on the person. Doubt is in the subject or the behavior. सुकृते ब्राह्मणः प्रश्नकैला शुभक्षणे अमयाय प्रभुतत्व कहिलेन ताने 24th verse 6th chapter Chaitanya Bhagavat Antya Khand. The pious Brahmana, he made this inquiry at a proper time. So the Lord explained the truth without reservation. If the doubt is wonderful, like the presentation is with complete humbleness, then yes, then even the spiritual master, he likes to answer. But if the doubt is with the doubt on the subject, then the spiritual master will not care to answer. It's very important. So here the pious Brahmana asked, and Lord explained the truth. The doubt that the Brahmana developed on seeing Sri Nityananda Prabhu's deviation from proper behavior was actually an indication of his good fortune. Shuniya Viprera Vakya Sri Gaurasundara Hasiya Viprera Prati Karila Uttara. On hearing the words of the Brahmana, Sri Gaurasundar replied and smiled. Shuna Vipra Mahadikari Eva Haya Tabetana Dosha Guna Kichuna Janmaya. O Brahmana, when one is highly qualified, one is not affected by faults and virtues. So you are highly qualified. You are not affected by any fault or virtue. So then the purport, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, Gaur Sundar said to that pious, doubtful Brahmana, material qualification or spiritual, superficial vision is one thing, and to grasp the profound meaning through keen vision is another thing. The qualification of those who always favorably cultivate Krishna consciousness after giving up the coverings of extraneous desires, karma, and jnana is different from that of others. Materialistic people are under the control of their mind, intelligence, and false ego. Material faults and virtues cannot enter the transcendental realm. As a lotus leaf cannot hold a mercury or water, a heart engaged in giving pleasure to Krishna never invites inauspiciousness based on selfish interest. So, whatever question you have asked, there's no fault in it because, mm, and also when a person is highly qualified, he is not affected by the faults and virtues. So, whatever Nityananda Prabhu is doing is beyond all these things. As stated in Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 20th chapter, 36th verse. न मय्येकान्तभक्तानां गुणदोषोद्भवा गुणः साधूनां समचित्तानां बुद्धे परमुपेयुषाम्. Material piety and sin, which arise from the good and evil of this world, cannot exist within my unalloyed devotees, who, being free from material hankering, maintain steady spiritual consciousness in all circumstances. Indeed, such devotees have achieved me, the Supreme Lord, whom I am beyond anything that can be conceived by material intelligence. So he's telling, he's asking this to Gaur Sundar. Gaur Sundar is telling. When now Gaur Sundar is going to answer the doubts of this Brahmana. The Brahmana had complete faith in Gaur Sundar. But somehow Nityananda's behavior was not understanding the behavior of Nityananda Prabhu. That is why Gaur Sundar is telling when a person is highly qualified, is beyond all these things. All this material piety, sin, which is arising because of good and evil of the world, this cannot come for a sincere devotee because he is always absorbed in Krishna. That is why he is beyond Sagunan Samatitetan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. He is beyond the three modes of material nature. Padmapatre Enakabu Nahilage Jala Yei Mata Nityananda Sarupa Nirmala. He is so nirmala. He is so pure. Nityananda Prabhu is so pure that, like how the lotus leaf is untouched by water, in the same way, Nityananda Prabhu is untouched. Nityananda Prabhu is Balaram himself. He is so pure. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He says Nityananda Prabhu, though his behavior may be contradictory to the injunctions of the scriptures, but still he is beyond all these faults. Because on the material platform you have sin, you have piety. On the material platform there is good, there is evil. But the spiritual platform, this good and evil is again based on our three modes of material nature. Whatever activities we are doing in this material world is only based on three modes of material nature. Sometimes very good, wonderful, and sometimes you may behave in some bad way. So for that reactions come, some good and bad reactions. Sometimes you are you have a lot of compassion for everyone. Sometimes you're cruel. But a devotee is beyond all this. Devotee is completely having faith in Krishna. That is most important. He has so much of faith in Krishna and Krishna's words that for him everything is Krishna. परमार्थे कृष्ण चंद्र ताहन शरीरे निश्चय जाहिना विप्रा सर्वदा विहार. O Brahmana, know for certain that Krishna Chandra always enjoys pastimes in the body of Nityananda. That's the Lord expands as Balaram. And Balaram, who is Nityananda, is Balaram himself. And what is the difference in Krishna and Balaram? One is servant God, one is served God. Lord only expands himself so that he can teach what is devotion. Devotion cannot be taught by anyone else, only by the devotees. If we really want to progress in devotional service, it is association of devotees which is the most important. Devotion is beyond jnana, vairagya. It is beyond everything. You may be a high-class jnani, no use. One may be a high-class yogi, still no use. Devotion is beyond all this. Devotion is based on one's humility and surrenderance to Krishna. That's how Krishna, he dances in the body of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda is Adi Guru. And that is how Guru Shishya Parampara is empowered by Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is always engaged in the favorable cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Favorable cultivation. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana vairagyam anavatam anukulyena Krishna anushilam bhakti uttama anushilam anukulyena means it should be in favorable mood. Remembering Krishna, even Hiranyakashipu was doing, even Ravana was doing, Kamsa was doing. In fact, they were doing more, but there was unfavorable mood. Krishna is situated within him. That is why Nityananda Prabhu, he engages in the favorable cultivation of Krishna consciousness. Whatever actions he performs should not be considered like the activities of ordinary living entities who are forced to enjoy the fruits of their karma. Sometimes we may not know the behavior of our spiritual master. A spiritual master is one who is completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. A spiritual master is one who preaches what he practices. Spiritual master is one who is in the line of disciplic succession. There are four disciplic succession, out of which in any of this disciplic succession, a spiritual master is one who is following his parampara. And he never enjoys the fruits of their like the ordinary people, they enjoy the fruits of their karma. There is no karma performed by a spiritual master. Karma is of two types. One is sakarma, vikarma. Whatever he performs is a karma, keeping Krishna in the center and performing an activity that is a karma. Sakarma means keeping ourselves in the center and performing good activities, which is prescribed in the Vedas, for which he gets good results. Vikarma, which is prohibited in the Vedas and is performing that activity, will only yield bad results. Something which was good, which is good beyond good and bad, that is known as akarma, keeping Krishna in the center and performing activities. Adhikari by kare tahar achara dukha paya se jana papa janmatar. Those who are joined for the first time, these verses are in Bengali. And this Bengali is not an ordinary Bengali language. It is the eternal language which is there in Gauramandala. Like Sanskrit are of also two types. One is a Sanskrit in the Daivaloka, and one is Prakruta Sanskrita, which is spoken. One is Prakruta Bengali, which is spoken. One is eternal in the eternal world. Like you have Awadh, there is Prakruta, there is a eternal. If an unqualified person imitates his behavior, he will suffer and become implicated into sin. So one cannot copy what Balram has done. What one cannot copy what Nityananda Prabhu does. Rudra Vine Anye Yadi Kare Vishapana. If somebody tries to drink poison, like how Rudra drank, on the name of Rudra, what they do in Mahashivratri, people drink bhang and they say that our Shivji also drank poison. He also drink the poison. Why are you drinking bhang? Better take and drink poison. So sense gratification is in center. They just want to enjoy in the name of festival and does not follow any rules and regulations. So such person is actually implicating the sins. So if somebody tries to drink poison, what will happen? He will die. In fact, Rudra drank the poison and saved the whole world, whole universe. Sarvathaya mare sarva purana pramana. So this is the verdict of the scriptures. Mrityunjaya or Shiva, his name is Mrityunjaya, who has conquered death, easily drank poison and became known as Nilakantha. But if on seeing that unqualified, worthless, living entities consider themselves equal to him, they bring about their own ruination by falling into inauspiciousness. So generally, Mrityunjaya Yajna is done. Why? To please Lord Shiva. As fire can burn any object to ashes, persons with spiritual intelligence can remain indifferent to material wealth and activities by not using them for their own enjoyment. Time, especially the time which is given to us. The wealth, the body, this material body, this human body, though it is material, can be spiritualized by using every moment in Krishna's service. Every moment is a very responsible moment. We are responsible for it. We are responsible in utilizing this moment of Krishna's service. Is most important. So our activities, our wealth, our ability, that is samarthya, should be employed in Krishna's service. That is most important. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.33, 29th and 30th verse, Dharma vitikramo drishta ishwaranam cha sahasam tejiyasam na doshaya vahane sarvabhujo yatam नैतत् समाचरे जातु मनसापि यनीश्वरः विनश्यत्याचरन् मौढ्यादिथारूढोऽभि जम्बिषम्. The status of powerful controllers is not harmed by any apparently audacious transgression of transgression of morality, such as seeing women. We may see in them, for they are just like fire, which devours everything fed into it and remains unpolluted. Powerful controllers, yes. Suppose they see a woman, these all things doesn't affect them. Or they're controlling, they're caring. But if a Baddha Jiva, conditioned person, if he sees a woman, what will happen? He's bound in that. A controller, a powerful controller, he is not bound, he's like a fire. He takes the responsibility of everyone. Certainly, one who is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead should never, even within his mind, imitate his activities. If out of ignorance one does so, he will be destroyed. Just as if he were to imitate Lord Shiva, who drank poison produced from the ocean, what will happen? He will die. Ete ke na ete ke ye na jani na nindeta na karma निज दोषे से दुख पाय जन्म जन्म. If a person without knowledge criticize the activities of Nityananda Prabhu, he will suffer birth after birth because of his own faults. Grahite karaye yadi mahandikari nindaraki daya tanre hasile mari. Hasile mari. What to speak of criticizing? If a person even laughs at a qualified person who performs an immoral activity is vanquished. Suppose there is a qualified person and is performing some immoral activity. For this person, it may seem to be immoral, but he is beyond all this morality. Like Ramanand Rai used to dress the Devadasis, teach them how to dance. Now, Ramanand Rai is the governor, but in the eternal world, he is Lalita Sakhi. Now, somebody may think, oh, this is something immoral. Why is he dressing them? While dressing naturally, your hands goes in all the private parts, is to give them bath also. But he was absorbed in Krishna. So absorbed in Krishna, for him, these all things were, even the ladies, they did not feel any shy because they were completely for Krishna, dancing for Krishna. So sometimes such activity may be seen by a materialistic person and conclude that that is immoral activity. A one who is qualified, who is always absorbed in Krishna, he has nothing to do in the material platform, on the material platform. But if somebody is criticizing such realized souls, then they will be vanquished. People who are qualified Mahabhagavatas are not to be criticized by those who are less qualified. A person who ridicules the activities of a Mahabharata is inevitably degraded. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from a Vaishnava Guru, all these topics can be properly understood. Sadhunam samachittanam upahasam karoti ha devo vapi athva martyah sa vigneyo adhama adhama. The Skanda Purana is given Maheshwara Khanda 17th chapter, 106th verse, it is stated, one who ridicules a devotee who sees everyone equally should be understood to be most fallen. Who is ridiculing, that means who is criticizing a devotee who is equal to everyone, then that person will fall down, even though he may be a demigod or immortal being. Bhagavata haite ye saba tatvajani. Whoever knows this truth from Srimad Bhagavatam, how we can know this? Aho yadi Vaishnava Gurura Mukhe Suni. Only when he hears from Vaishnava Guru, then he can understand the glories of Mahabhagavata. Mahabhagavata are beyond the level of uh, sadhana. They are beyond the level of sadhana. As a sadhaka, one has to follow the rules and regulations. Mahabhagavatas are at the platform of Bhava Prema. At that time, these all things doesn't affect them. Mahantera acharane hasile ye haya chittadiya shuna bhagavate ye kaya. Now hear attentively what Srimad Bhagavatam says about what happens to a person who laughs at the behavior of a devotee. Ekakale Ramakrishna galena padite vidyapurna kari chitta karila asite. So once Krishna and Balram, they go for studying at Sandipani Muni's ashram. After their studies, they returned. They decided to return at that time. Ki dakshina diba balilena guru prati. What dakshina should we give? No, just this is most important. People come, people study. They're not bothered even to ask what dakshina we should give, isn't it? But it is a parampara. In ISKCON, we don't ask any dakshinas. We just ask, donate for the higher cause. Bas. Personal dakshinas, we refrain from asking, even though every preacher, every speaker takes a lot of efforts to teach the people. They are not interested in their personal dakshinas. They are interested in making the people serve Krishna. That is most important. So that is the dakshina. If you serve Krishna, that is dakshina. If you follow what your guru says and help him in the mission, that is a dakshina. Ki dakshina diba balilena kurupati tabe patni sange guru karila yukati. Then the guru consulted his wife. What dakshina should I ask? Mruta putra magilena Ramakrishna sthane tabe Ramakrishna gela yama vidyamane. They asked, can you bring our dead son back? They requested Krishna and Balram. And then Krishna and Balram straight went to the abode of Yamaraj. Agyaya Shishura Sarva Karma Guchaya Yamalaya Haite Putra Dilena Anya. On their order, the child was delivered from the reactions of his karma. They brought the child from the abode of Yamaraj and returned to their spiritual master. Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 45th verse, 45th chapter, 30th to 46th verse speaks about it. Parama Adbhuta Shuni, ye saba akhyana. Devaki, O Magi Lena, Mrutaputra Dana. So when Devaki heard about this wonderful incident, she also asked them to return her dead sons. Daive Ekadina Ramakrishna Sambodhiya Kahena Devaki Ati Katarahaya. So by the arrangement of providence, Devaki one day spoke in great affliction to Balram and Krishna. Shula Shula Ramakrishna Yogeshwareshwara Tumi Dui Adi Nitya Shuddha Kalevara. You are the topmost of all the yogis. Yogeshwareshwara. Now just see what is the topmost yoga system. We generally say, I want to learn yogas. But topmost yoga system, Krishna says. In 6th chapter, last verse. What is the 6th chapter, last verse? Who can tell? The topmost yoga system. Raksha. What is the topmost yoga system? 6 chapters speaks about Dhyana Yoga. And Krishna very clearly says the topmost yoga system, Dhyana Yoga. Yoginamapi sarvesham madgyatenantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam samyuktatamamataha. Yoginam api sarvesham, of all the yogis, who is the topmost? Yoginam api sarvesham. So he is the topmost of all the yogis. Who madgadenantaratmana, who is always thinking of me. Shraddhavan bhajate yoma, who is always serving me with great faith and who is connected to me. Same yuktatamamataha. So in this way, Yogeshwareshwaraha, you are the topmost of all the yogis. Tumi dvi adi nitya shuddha kalevara, and your bodies are completely eternal, pure. Sarva jagatera pita tumi dvi jana, muni janona tumi dvi paramakara. You two are the fathers of the universe, as I know. You two are the cause of all the causes. So Krishna is the cause of all causes. Devaki Mata is praying. Tomorrow we'll see further what she wants to ask. She wants her sons back, her 6 sons, but before asking, first she is praising Krishna. That is how one should present his whatever his desires. He should present in a proper way. First to praise a person, capture his heart, and then ask what you want. Not just put your demand in front of him. It's a wrong way of dealing. Oh, I want this. I will do this. No. What I want should be presented after heartful prayers and heartful praises to the one to whom you're asking. It should not be some artificial praises. Because when you're praising, when you're talking, at the time you come to know the mind state of the person to whom you're going to ask. Sometimes he may be in anxiety. He may not. He may not be. He may not fulfill your desire, isn't it? So this is all very important. So anyhow, we'll end the class here. Tomorrow join at 8:30. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.